Hi everyone! In this video I'm going to show you how to use the elements and principles of design to transform a collection of random images and text on a Google Slides into something that looks visually appealing. Okay, so just to remind you that up to now we have learned a variety of elements and principles of design. So we've learned balance, form, shape, line and texture, and last lesson we learned contrast, repetition, alignment and proximity, and I want you to practice trying to incorporate each one of those into a design. Okay, so I've created one already. I started with this, a random collection of images and text, and I ended up with this using the elements and principles of design. Okay, so just have a quick look at this. I've tried my best to make the page balanced so that nothing is taking your attention more than anything else. I have used contrast with the text on the background so that you can clearly and easily read that. I've used line there, you can just about see it, but I've got a line there, and I changed the colour of that to fit in with this logo here, and it's a really nice contrast with the background. I've used shape by putting this rectangle here and keeping this white rectangle down the bottom. What else have we done? Oh yes, repetition. So I've repeated those small logos there. Instead of having them all over the place, I have placed them close together. So I've repeated them, but I've also used the principle of proximity. And then over here, I decided to balance that group with some text, and I've left a big space here. So the proximity of that to that means that this is a group, but this is not part of the group, so the viewer's eye is not struggling to figure out or decipher what is going on this. Okay, the background of this shape I have put gradient on, so there's a bit of texture there. Okay, and I've added a shadow to this title, so there's a bit of form. Okay, a bit of a 3D form. So I have tried my best to use as many of these elements and principles of design that I could, as many as I could. Okay, so very quickly then, I want you to do the same. So you're going to open up this slide and you're going to edit it. I do not want you to copy mine. This is my idea. I want you to think of your own solution to this. How are you going to rearrange these items using the elements and principles of design? When you open it up, these are all the tools you will need. Okay, so when you click on one of the images, you can resize them, you can make them smaller or bigger, then you can click and move them about. Okay, so I'm just going to move them out the way so I can show you something else. There's some text here which is on a slant. If you click on that little blue circle, you can rotate it and position it somewhere. Oh, this is the thing, if you rotate it, you have to click off it and then click back on it again. It'll let me. There we go, and then you can move it about again with this text, so you can rotate it. Okay, get it lined up, click off it and then click on it again so that you can select it to move it about. And then I decided to use some shapes. So up here are the shapes tool. I used a square, but you could be creative and you can use other shapes in there as long as you're using the elements and principles of design and you're using them well. I don't mind what you do. So you can drag that on. You can go up to the fill, you can choose a solid fill or a gradient. I chose a gradient to get a bit of texture and form in there. You can right click, go to order and send to the back. Okay, so you can start building up your different layers of where things are going to go. You can make the text bigger by highlighting the text. And go up here, you can make the text bigger, you can change the colour of the text. Change the position of the text, and the other thing that you can do to the text, you can see down here that I've got my format options open, but that's because I have already used it when I was playing about with the other one. When I right click on text and right click, I can go to format options, this comes up, and then I've got access to things like a drop shadow, so I can add drop shadows, I can play about with the different features of that. Okay, and it adds a little shadow. So I'm starting to use shapes, alignment, drop shadows, all to try and bring in textures and form. You can add lines to separate the information. You can make the line thickness here a bit thicker. You can change the colour of the line. Okay, so I want you to have a little play, and I want you to come up with a solution to this problem, and I want you to try your very best. Alright guys, have fun!